All right, everybody, welcome back to Road America on Champ Car Live. It is the Frozen Rotors Winter Classic for the Champ Car Endurance Series, presented by RVA Graphics and Wraps. Paul Velton, Bill Strong, Doc Waldrop, the new guy, and Tiffany Alexander with you, calling the race.
Hey, that's
all weekend
FNG
long.
to you.
I'll take that. Yeah, it's a weekend at Road America, located here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Temperatures in the mid-80s today, all day. No rain, no snow, no sleet. I'm kidding. Temperatures a high of 48, low of 32, 10% chance of rain. But yesterday, completely different day weather-wise from what we're looking at today. You can see the sun is shining. The track is dry. Yesterday, it looked like all JSK racing. And it ended up they took the win. Spartan Racing taking P2, Premium Dudes third, Landshark fourth, Ludicrous Speed in fifth. We're on board with TRM Motorsports, a group of guys from Tire Rack. And they had some pretty heavy contact in that left front corner. You can see the picture up above there. Indicative of that. That's my new word for the day. But they're going to run it the way it is. 76 spins reported yesterday. Turn 3 was the busiest corner. Cars are moving out onto track now. They did a random draw, and they're going to sort in that order for today's start of the race. Tiffany,
I caught a little bit about that, but can't remember what stall they said was going to start us.
We're up. We're on board with the TRM Motorsports guys. Cameras in several cars. Looney Tunes is out here again today. They thought that they broke a rocker arm at one point, and then they decided, no, it's worse than that. We've dropped a valve. We need to do an engine replacement. So they went ahead and replaced that engine, got the car back out towards the end of the day. Looks like they're ready to go. And then there was Crank Yankers Racing that was doing really well up at the front, and then had contact with one of the walls of the barriers, and did a significant amount of damage to the right side of the car suspension. So Tyler said they had to replace the rear subframe yesterday. That was after hours, and they also did some work on that left front or the right front corner.
Well, you know, one of the things today, JSK started third yesterday. So they started up near the front. They, of course, won on Saturday, so they get a margin of victory penalty of a lap, and then they're also going to start near the back of the field today. So,
yeah, it looks like they're coming. We're on board with them today. We got a camera in that car, and they're climbing the hill here.
So they're also that's also going to flip cone crushers too, right? They started way in the back yesterday.
Yeah, they started about 3/4 of the way down, so they'll get a better starting spot today.
Yeah, might make your prediction come alive.
Yeah, you would like to think so. I've had a pretty good record. We'll see how it shakes out. It looks beautiful there, although it's cold.
Team Milan, the team we talked to over the on Wednesday, we had an interview with Jeff Christensen. They're out here again this morning. They found they had an issue with the defrost switch. Apparently, that switch caused some kind of an electrical problem with that car. It is pretty surprising, but that's what happened. And Ergotech Lab, heard from them, they had a problem with the ECU and some wiring, so multiple problems, got that fixed. They're expecting to have a good race today. So there was a lot of repair work that was done yesterday, and a lot of teams expecting the best from themselves.
Well, maybe my notes aren't right. Right now, I'm looking at Race Hero, and it shows JSK is starting 12th today.
It could be. It could be that their lap won't kick in until they have...
yeah, because that's got to be manually
register
done.
a lap, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the way they do that.
Yeah, that's got to be manually entered. Much like, if your transponder quits working, they've got a backup where they can tell where you should be. Now, these notes at the beginning of the race are always kind of like a little goofy on my lap charts. So much changes. So I don't know if I'm looking at the correct running order, but we'll know once we go green here in a few minutes.
Yes, we will. Good morning to everybody watching on our YouTube channel, ChampCar.live, and welcome and good morning to everybody watching on our Facebook channel as well.
51 is first. Okay.
So car 51 starts the race this morning. 8 hours of race, getting ready to begin here shortly as we get to the bottom of the hour. 9:30 local, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 local. They'll go checker at 4:30 local. Car 43 already reported as going into the pits.
Well, that's not good.
Hopefully
That's
soon.
probably not the way they wanted to start things off.
Probably not. Good grief. We have Facebook showing us we have 21 viewers. What the?
It's an early Saturday morning. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
Of course, this is the Frozen Rotors Winter Classic.
It has proved to be very wintry.
It has. Not to be disappointed at Road America. It is cold.
Wisconsin, bring it.
It brought it yesterday.
Yeah, I've seen a race with snow on the ground, but not snow falling. That was the first. So, especially that heavily.
Yeah, exactly.
Those guys had their work cut out yesterday.
Now we got a report that a Lexus SC300 did not get a number in pit lane. Not sure what that means.
I didn't recall seeing an SC300 in today's race.
Oh, I saw one yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
I saw an SC400.
Oh, there we go. It's a 400. 300, 400.
400, whatever it takes, right?
Close enough.
Oh, there's one. I think there's one in the pits. We just didn't get the number as they came in. That's all. So the Lexus has pitted. So yeah, that's not the way you want to start off in the morning.
Nope. I'm sure these race cars didn't really want to wake up this morning either, as cold as it was.
Yeah, well, I think the teams, in fact, I'm pretty sure of this, the teams were allowed to add a little bit of antifreeze. Typically, it's 10%, just to keep those engines from freezing up.
That's probably very good, yeah.
I know Troy had some problems at Barber, not last year, but the year before that. He was out there with hair dryers and shrink wrap guns,
I mean, it'll ruin your car. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much so.
Real quick, like.
Okay, the green flag is in hand.
Oh boy, that means we're going racing.
The green flag's in hand. I'm talking on the show.
Oh, the green flag.
Getting ready to go green here for 8 hours of racing. Just standing by.
You got me there, guys?
Yep.
Okay.
Who are you?
I can't yell because, I'm in control right now. It's a balmy 79 degrees in here. It looks really cold outside.
You'll find out later, Bill.
I don't see the cars. They're somewhere on the track.
They're getting to you.
Yeah. So who's this guy? Who's this? Oh, yeah, you're the new guy. You actually returned to your post today.
Yeah, go figure.
You have a job now.
I got to keep my phony baloney job. I didn't get a harumph out of that man. I'll start early with the Blazing Saddles references.
And this guy must be old because he's bringing up old references.
It's a classic, Bill. It's a classic.
On board with Team Milan, Jeff Christensen's team, the fellow that we interviewed on Wednesday live.
Yep. Team based out of Iowa.
It's great talking to Jeff. By the way, if you want to catch these interviews, you can head over to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. A little bit easier to find it there. Facebook's not easy for finding stuff.
Pace cars around turn 13.
Pace car 13.
Back with Milan about 3 miles behind, which is on this 4-mile race course in Elkhart.
I thought you
Lake,
said
Wisconsin.
It was 20-mile race course. Make up your mind, Paul.
I did. That depends. It's 20. It seems like 20 miles when you're out of gas.
Right.
Pace car 14.
They're turning around 14. Pace cars coming in.
We're about to go racing.
Pace car on pit lane.
Pace cars on pit lane. Flagger standing there with the flag in hand. He's not moving. There he goes. Green flag. We are green. Wow, the 126 just made a huge jump on the field. Came about 7 or 8 places before he even hit the tower.
Yeah, we're on board with TRM as they're getting ready to roll up the hill here. And you can see by the new timing and scoring pylon that we have that's active there that we are now green. Just Don't Suck is shown up front. Looks like some of the guys single-filed it are a little caught out. Others are definitely not caught out. So there's 3 wide. There goes Team Milan just up ahead. There goes the
Looney Tunes.
Mustang with the front end up in the air as they go by.
It's like a jet plane.
You can tell when he's under full power.
Yeah.
Back on board here now with Looney Tunes Racing, a team that's they've had pretty much an up and down experience with this car. They've won out here at Road America. They've lost some engines. They lost one at COTA a couple years back, or was that last year? They lost they had lost an engine yesterday. Got that engine replaced. And watch out for these guys. They are quick, and they're going to be a threat for the win, that's for sure.
Quick and competitive, yeah.
Excuse me. Going to watch car number 80. Looks like he's spilling something from the back of the car. I wonder what that would be.
That's the Cremaster car. I'm guessing fuel.
Yeah.
It's probably hot coffee coming out. Like his coffee cup probably doesn't have a good top on it.
Yeah. Hey, I asked Doc, what did I ask you? Have you had your coffee yet this morning? You said you've already had a pot or two.
Yeah.
Ludicrous Speed, the team we fought along with a lot yesterday. They're out here. It's an interesting suit. It's kind of like a camouflage racing suit. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before.
Me neither. That's different.
What's he hiding from?
I can barely see him.
What driver? Yeah.
That car drives itself.
Might have been a little bit of contact, those two getting close together.
Look
but
pretty close, yeah. That's pretty close.
They've decided to make this a 2-lane down through here. You can see the driver's drink tube coming out of his helmet there. He's got the quick disconnect there, which I like.
That's fancy.
Yeah.
Fancy smancy.
I've got mine tied to my helmet. It's clipped into the side of my helmet, and then I clip the hose in.
Really?
To that. Yeah.
I just put a piece of gum in my mouth before I go out.
How does that hydrate you, though?
I mean, it just keeps me from grinding my teeth when I get excited, I guess.
Oh, okay.
And if my mouth gets dry, I just chew the gum a little bit, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to have to use the bathroom while I'm in there either, so.
Oh, there's no chance of that for me.
3 wide.
Well, that sun's kind of bright, huh?
Yeah.
How long it'll take these tires to get up to temperature? They seem like they're moving along pretty nicely already, even as cold as it is to start.
Well, you saw Milan jerking his car back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, JSK was too, trying to get some heat rubbed into those tires. There's crank anchors just off to the left. JSK, of course, the team that won yesterday.
I mean, what pressures these guys decided to start out with this morning, whether they got that right or not, could definitely impact how this goes.
No, Brian's saying he's probably wearing a jacket over his suit. No, I don't think so, Brian. That was a full body camo.
You can't do that.
And that's not even legal. Yeah, it's got to be fire retardant.
Yeah, that would kind of defeat the whole purpose.
He would have looked more puffy. So Looney Tunes is leading the race with Rusty Nuts in second, Team Milan in third, British American Racing by Hawk in fourth, Crash Management in fifth. Those guys spent some time off the track yesterday. Getting a report that the 414 car, the hood is a bit loose on the right side, but it looks like it's stable.
There's
TRM Motorsports in
Cone
sixth.
Crushers in seventh.
There you go.
Guys.
Mow them down in eighth, which really should be a Mustang, but it's not. American Express in ninth, and Parts Badger in 10th.
Glad to see they got that big Pontiac back out there. It's that American Express and 91 Pontiac Grand Prix.
Let's see if we can switch to the pointy end of the field with
That is
Team
the
Looney
pointy
Tunes.
end. His windshield is clear.
Yes, it is. Under the Continental Bridge, and there's some back markers already for him to cope with.
Yeah, that windshield didn't stay clear long, did it? Not the way he rocketed ahead at the start.
So if you're just tuning in, joining us for the race, welcome, everyone, to Road America on Champ Car Live. It's the Frozen Rotors Winter Classic for the Champ Car Endurance Series, presented by RVA Graphics and Wraps. Paul Veltzum, Bill Strong, Doc Waldrop, and Tiffany Alexander with you again today, calling the race. It's a double 8 this weekend, 8 hours of racing yesterday and today. Nearly 80 teams here this weekend at Road America, located in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, a 4-mile road course, 14 turns, lots of elevation change. Looks like they're going to black flag the
414. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Looney Tunes
it's
is falling
141.
through the order. They've dropped down to 6th place now.
Parts Badger.
So they're going to black flag the 141 car for missing a hood pin. All those little details that come back to haunt you when you're in a hurry.
Yeah, we had a report from Race Central that 101 stopped on course but restarted and continued.
Yeah, I mean, they've dropped down to 6th place now. 5 cars past them.
Right.
Well, that's strange.
Yeah,
what was the issue that they had yesterday?
Looney Tunes. It was an engine issue.
Yeah, they had an issue with the rocker arm. They had a broken rocker arm. They thought as they were under there replacing the rocker arm, they realized they had dropped a valve, so they had to replace the whole engine.
So stopping on course sounds, it could
like
be
that's not
something loose in the cockpit. Maybe his seatbelt came undone. We've seen that happen before.
Could be. The engine sounds like he's up to full song right now.
Yeah.
So drop down a few spots. Look at Cone Crusher suddenly in 4th spot there, Doc.
Go figure.
They've passed 10 cars already.
I'm telling you. Told you my boys would come through today.
But then you've got Team Milan up there in second. They're up high in the standings.
That's a strong Miata. He's done very well. He's got a boatload of top 10 finishes and low top 10s. I'm talking thirds, fifths, those sort of things, not barely cracking the top 10. So, sooner or later, Jeff's going to get that first win in that car.
Reports that car 368 with a floppy hood. They're going to keep an eye on that.
That's the PBR light car at BMW 325.
Yesterday started out with a wet racetrack, and it just kind of went from bad to worse. The temperature going down. We found snow, sleet, hail. It was fantastic.
I like what you said yesterday. Everything but a volcano.
Everything but a volcano came down on that track. Yeah, absolutely. Troxel.
A lot of leaves clogging people's intakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or radiators. And I guess Bill told us there was one car out there running with open throttle bodies. Maybe adding a little external combustion. I don't know.
Well, some of the teams that had a lot of problems yesterday, Ergolab was having a lot of issues with their car, but they did get some laps in at the end of the day to verify that they got their gremlins taken care of with a failed computer and some wiring, and just more than one issue there that they had to deal with. Crank Yankers was looking really strong early in the day, and then had that impact with the wall, and spent the night working on that to get that fixed. Premium Dudes, a couple of black flag penalties, passing under yellow, a questionable pass as well, put them behind. They still ended up finishing in third overall, second
even
in class.
Off that last stop, they just overhauled the Landshark Civic at the end to take third.
Looney Tunes has already rocketed up to third spot now that they've got themselves into the groove, just passing British American Racing, now hunting down Team Milan.
Looks like
about
they've
13
also
seconds
set our
back.
fastest time of the day so far. The
Yeah.
51.7.
Report that car 510 has spun. I wonder if that's a Datsun. Probably not.
I don't believe it is, Paul.
Well, it should be.
Oh, that's the Tooth Autosport.
Okay.
The Civic.
Yeah, 251 with Looney Tunes. Already a very stout lap time for those guys. So I guess car 510, he spun and went across the track, like maybe footballed across the track, which I hate. Just never fun. Both feet in, keeps that from happening. And but then I was able to get it turned around and is back on the racetrack and moving in the right direction.
That's always a plus.
We're on board with Team Looney Tunes in their Ford Mustang, 1989. One of the other teams that's out here this weekend, TRM Motorsports Racing. It's a group of guys that work at Tire Rack. They've got that BMW up to full song now. They had, as you can see in the picture up in the upper right-hand corner, they had one of the many spins yesterday. I think Bill said we had like 43 spins or something. They counted them.
It's like 63.
63.
Like
it's ridiculous. Yeah, there was
like a
the
dance
weather.
instead of a race.
Very tricky driving conditions yesterday. And even some of the most experienced drivers we had here ran into trouble with that. But TRM found the wall and did some work to get the front end pointed in the right direction and back out here today. Driver looks pretty comfortable in the seat there, so car must be working really well.
Stand corrected, 76 spins.
It keeps going up.
Yeah. Well,
Crank Yankers is up to 12th right now.
wow. Who is that?
Yeah. So they've passed 22 cars so far this morning. Just getting started here, just about 15 minutes after the green flag flew. Crash Management in that Dodge Stratus up to 8th spot. Ludicrous Speed has worked their way up to 9th. Watch out for those guys today in that Toyota MR2. Cone Crusher's now up in 4th.
Yeah, baby.
But Looney Tunes is hunting, and they are just turned in a 249. And they are looking for that green and yellow Mazda Miata.
Yeah, Crank Yankers is doing pretty good. Up 22 spots to running 12th.
They were doing great yesterday until they had that little accident.
Yeah, well, Tyler said it was entirely his fault. Said he ran out of talent.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
It happened to a lot of people yesterday.
Third Gear Pulls up to 15th spot. They were our 7th place finisher yesterday in that CRX. Motor Crap, they led. They were up front early in the race yesterday before falling out of the running. The Gavoli's racing team, they were running well yesterday. That's Gavoli's is Lithuanian for savage, as Tiffany found out.
With my hard cracking reporting skills.
Exactly. Well, it beats that pit reporter we have. He doesn't ask those hard-hitting questions.
Looks like
car some that almost get him hard hit.
Yes. And I'm still trying to get him punched out. One of these days, he's going to listen to what I say at just the wrong time, and somebody's going to take a swing at him. I thought I was going to get Robin. I thought I was going to get Robin Bank to take a swing at him after I made a disparaging Washington Redskins remark.
We went yellow in turn 8. Parts Badger, a rough ride between turn 7 and 8. Must have done some agricultural work.
Most of the time, the agriculture was coming at the teams yesterday with all those leaves blowing everywhere.
Looney Tunes heading down through turn 2 into 3 at very tricky corner where we had most of the action yesterday, I suppose, from what I'm hearing from the tower. Show about 6 seconds back now from Team Milan. Trying to work his way back up to the front, leading first thing this morning. By the way, if you haven't seen, we've got 6 videos that we've published to our YouTube channel and to the. They're available through the Champ Car Garage. It's the Race Tech with Drew Knabb. 6 in-depth. I would call them in-depth. I imagine he may not because he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
He's an engineer, smart guy. And I'm just
he's forgotten more than I'll ever know.
Right. So to me, to the average guy, highly in-depth explainative, highly in-depth videos, shocks and struts, suspension and geometry, wheels and tires, hubs, bearings and bushings, suspension bars and springs, and steering and alignment are the 6 videos you'll find out there in the Champ Car Garage Facebook page. Again, you can also pick them up at the ChampCar.live YouTube channel if you want to head over there, watch it in 1080.
Heard Bill and him have something cooked up for AMP next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to get some more video from Drew, and I certainly appreciate him helping to educate those of us who are less knowledgeable about such things. There's Team Milan just up ahead.
At Charlotte, he gave us a soup to nuts tour of the racing facility he works at, and it's just mind-boggling. Just the depth and the sheer size of the place, the number of people that work there. We went into their breakage room where they test equipment, and there's a stack of trailing arms, 10 high, that they're going to test, that they were testing to see how much material, because it's all about those components in those top level NASCAR teams. They want to make them light enough where they can add ballast to the car's advantage. So it was just ridiculous, the riches that they enjoy at a top level NASCAR team.
So N&M Motorsports reporting having spun.
Yeah, same with the American Express Pontiac Grand Prix.
Looks like the American Express Pontiac stopped. So they've come to a stop on the racetrack.
James Bondo off there to the right, that Triumph TR7. They had some problems yesterday.
Yeah, I had some contact with that car, and so we were concerned about the damage they had. It's great to see them back out again.
Well, you'd like to think they have plenty of Bondo, though, to fix that car, right?
You'd think.
Yeah. I love seeing these unique cars out here, Doc, like that. It's just much fun to see that.
Well, I mean, we got a Mercedes 190E out there. Of course, we have the Maserati Bi-Turbo out there. So, I mean, we've got a Chevy Cavalier of all things.
Oh, my goodness.
924s, 944s. We've got a couple of VWs, a Golf, a GTI, a Jetta. We've got Toyota MR2s, an Audi 200 TQ, a Dodge Stratus, a Dodge Neon. We even have a Hyundai out there, an Accent. So, I mean, the depth of we got a Ford Escort GT. We got a Chrysler Neon. And then, of course, there's a lot of Neons run up in the North races, as it were. We've got several Acura Integras out there, a Toyota Supra. We got a 71 Pontiac Grand Prix, for goodness sakes. So there's all sorts of stuff you look at it on our grids. It's quite a diverse field.
Sounds like my high school and college cars.
Speaking of Neons, too, by the way, Gangsters of Love, that 97 Dodge Neon, we heard from them a couple of times yesterday coming from race control there in the pits. And the N&M Motorsports Dodge Neon's been has been black flagged, meatballed rather, for smoking. So I don't know if they mean smoking a cigarette or if he's actually the car smoking.
I'm pretty sure it's the car there, Paulie.
Yeah, okay, because Bill said it's smoking like a diesel, so they're going to bring it in for that. Maybe it's a diesel. Maybe they did a swap.
Maybe they did a swap to a diesel. That'd be an unusual swap, even for our series.
Low farm racing into the pits. Oh, they just left. So, okay. So they're in and out.
So Looney Tunes has overhauled Team Milan. Running in second now.
Yeah, chasing down Rusty Nuts.
Yeah, Rusty Nuts is our leader. That is an EC car, so they're not eligible for the overall win. They're just out there having fun.
Yeah, I know Bill talked to them in the pits yesterday during his pit lane interviews. It's nice to hear from them.
Another
Here's
team we
more today.
mentioned a little bit yesterday, Bavarian Mustache Works are running up in 14th place now. Crank Anchors up in 10th.
That's going in the right direction.
Yeah. Ergo Labs running in 18th. Spartan Racing, our second place car yesterday, is, whoops, my screen just reset. There they are down in 21st place. Tuna No Crust, we mentioned them yesterday. They've dropped from a pretty good starting position in 4th down to 24th. Premium Dudes, they've moved up 25 spots, so they started near the rear of the field. They're running in 27th place right now. Stinky Rat Trap, they're running in 30th place. They're up 15 spots.
Stinky Rat Trap finished 6th yesterday.
Yeah.
So we found them in the in Impound and got to interview them.
So yesterday I had 74 cars starting, and today we've had 63 cars starting.
Right.
So we've dropped about 11 teams.
One of the drivers that Bill spoke to off air said he was having a lot of fun out there because the cars were just peeling off to the right and to the left as he was going around the track. With the slippery conditions that were out there, it was it made it kind of fun. So he was having a good time. Got a little loose there. Looks like the car understeered a little bit going into Canada Corner. Looney Tunes, of course, running in second right now. 7 seconds back this time from Rusty Nuts. And lap times are close. So he's going to have some work to do to overhaul the EC car.
See, Cone Crushers moved up to 4th.
And 119 being reported having spun at turn 2, which is a really bizarre place to lose control of the car because it's hardly a turn. Really, it's just a little bit of a
I'd like
kink.
to think we can screw up almost any corner, Paulie.
I'll take it back then. Sorry. There's another neon. I don't know. It's just not a good day for neons. Noble Gas Racing.
There's a bunch of them out there, though.
Yeah, and I think with Drew Knabb around, there's probably some people getting some helpful advice here and there.
I bet.
But then, of course, you have to listen to that advice. That's a whole other thing.
That's the part where I have problems.
Me too.
And applying it, yeah.
Yeah, applying it seems to be the big problem. I can listen to it.
Don't confuse me with the facts. I substitute your reality with my own. I reject your reality and substitute it with my own. Okay, so let's see. He was coming out of 1 too wide and spun there. Yeah, I can see that. Because if you go too wide coming out of 1, those rumble strips are really aggressive, and it'll upset the car quite a bit.
Oh,
so you could definitely lose it there.
Now.
Yeah, they're just going by a car now.
Second, Cone Crushers up to 3rd, Ludicrous Speed in 4th.
Looky there. Well, Tiffany, I think you're right. You know, you said we're expecting to see a different picture today up front, and we're seeing that. But some of the ones that we're seeing that were up front yesterday, Ludicrous Speed, back up there again.
Well, they were really consistent yesterday, so that makes sense. They're fast and consistent. You've got the fast cars that weren't able to use any of that horsepower yesterday, being able to put that down today and run a different race. So we'll see if they can hold it together, though, to maintain that.
Oh, top of the hour, I got to stick my face in the book.
All right, go for
Crank
it.
tankers are up to 10th.
All right, so we'll stop for a quick station identification. I'm going to get a new pair of lips, and we'll be back here in a minute. Here we go. I was looking for something, but I just don't see it. But welcome, everyone, to Road America. It is Champ Car Live, the Frozen Rotors Winter Classic here on Champ Car Live. Bill Strong, Paul Veltum, Doc Waldrop, and Tiffany Alexander joining you again this weekend for full-length race coverage of the race at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. We were green at 8:30 this morning local time, and we'll be checker at 4:30 today.
My screen must have glitched because now I show the orders what we had before.
Maybe so. Some of the teams are setting their fastest lap so far. So, I mean, you know, the cars are coming alive. The track must be coming alive, gotten some heat in those tires.
Ludicrous Speed now turning in the fastest lap time of the event with a 2:49 as we're watching on board with TRM Motorsports. There's the Crank Yankers E30 going by, heading into Canada Corner. Nice clean pass. Almost looked like there was a little bit of smoke coming out of the back of the Crank Yankers machine as he was heading up the hill there. TRM was kind of jockeying for position there. I wasn't sure if he was sure what was going on. There's a lot of tire smoke from the car up ahead of Crank Yankers going into the braking zone of turn 14 as the Crank Yankers E30 presents itself nicely for a clean pass on the outside heading up the hill. Under the bridge they go as they head towards the start-finish line. TRM Motorsports in pursuit. Down into turn 1. It's kind of a downhill braking zone. Somewhat downhill. Very fast turn 1. Now under the Briggs and Stratton little upright bridge there. It's down through 2 into 3. This is the corner where all the action was yesterday. Again, presenting himself nicely for the pass. Down this very long back stretch. A downhill braking zone here heading into turn 5. Looking at the outside, looks like he's going to take the driving line as they head up the hill to the Corvette Bridge. Braking for this blind left-hander here that is all important at the exit, as this sets you up for hurry downs. Too wide going through there. Down to turn 8. A little
wave.
Thank you wave. Yeah, thanks for giving me some room there on the outside. Nicely executed turn 8, heading under the Speedville Bridge for the carousel. This part of the racetrack is a real tire burner. When you're pushing the car, that left front tire takes a beating through here. Setting us up now for the what some call the motorcycle portion of the road course. This is the bus stop here that we run. Slow the cars down before they head up to the kink area.
Okay, sorry.
It's like 216 took a shortcut, but no advantage. Car 575 reported into the pits too. Turn 13 went yellow as a car drove off and continued. That was car number 37. Boy, I'm liking how TRM Motorsports is driving here. This driver is doing a great job. Nice and smooth. Look how gentle he is with that shifter, really taking it easy on that transmission.
Yeah, not jamming it in gears and stuff. Yeah. No. Making that car last the whole day. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that pullback, how gentle that was.
That looks like my bus driver video I was sharing.
Yeah, that's a fingertip
oh, Lord.
shipping.
That was funny.
It's hilarious. It's fantastic. That's the way it ought to be. Yeah,
that guy cracks me up no matter how many times I watch that video. I love it.
Looney Tunes now right on top of that, on top of the leader. Try to go back to that camera and see if we can pick him up. So should be overtaking for the lead here.
Hey, Jerry's running up there in 15th place of the Ergo Lab car.
Troy Trulio on board with them this weekend driving.
In the Ergo car?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Also, Rick Fong is with them. Rick is the McKibbin's pub owner. I guess he's the owner, if I understood that right from Bill. Probably didn't. Knowing me, I got it wrong.
Well, you'd have to assume that Bill was right in the first place.
I'm sure he's right about that.
Yeah, he probably is.
I mean, when it comes to his Troy facts, he's usually up to date.
Well, I mean, McKibbin sponsors his car as well.
Oh, okay.
So car 113 reported off track on driver's left at turn 4 and continued. Oh, all 4 off and continued. So completely off the racetrack.
So Ludicrous Speed is past Cone Crusher. So they're in 4th and Cone Crushers is in 5th.
I watch it there.
And Looney Tunes has finally regained the lead of this race as they're beginning to pull away from the Rusty Nuts Racing EC car. Team Milan up to 3rd and would love to hunt down that EC car. That last time through, turning identical lap times, Ludicrous Speed in 4th with the fastest lap time of the day, turning these 252s. He's going to be chasing down Team Milan, about 17 seconds in the rears right now.
Ludicrous is really bringing it.
Fast car, you know, they had a hard time really showing it yesterday, except in the beginning and the very end of the race because of the weather conditions.
Uh-oh.
So they are a serious threat right now because they've got the weather conditions that they want, and they're already at the front of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Report from race control that Cone Crushers may be leaking oil.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that would be a big problem.
Yeah.
You need that to stay in the engine.
Well, there's that, and of course they're gonna, they're gonna likely get meatballed for it if there's any kind of verification,
right,
or even suspicion. They don't even have to verify it. It's not a court of law.
Yeah, well, I mean, and they'll let you get away with a little bit of gas right after you fuel up, simply because everybody's packing their fuel as tight as they can, and
which
those
we
caps
all love.
are going to leak, a little bit.
Yeah.
So they'll give you a lap or two. But oil, they take a dimmer view of that.
Well, that's so much more hazardous for the other drivers when you've got oil on the track, It doesn't dissipate quickly like gas.
However, gas is a petroleum product.
Why, yes, it is.
And I've just really enjoyed people doing that.
Yeah.
That's my pet peeve. You've got the tow straps. I've got the gas leaking. That really drives me nuts.
Right. Well, I mean, we had one. I didn't realize that the overflow for the gas tank in a E30 is hidden behind the right rear wheel well, behind a panel. And so we got a report at Barber that we were leaking a lot of fuel. So we came in. We thought we had solved it, went back out, and it was lessened, but not completely gone from what I understand. We didn't get black flagged again or meatballed. But later on, I looked at the pictures of us coming out of the last turn onto the main straight at Barber. And I mean, we weren't just leaking fuel. We were dumping fuel.
Right. I had something like that happen to me at Brainerd earlier this year. I was following a car. It didn't make any difference in the finishing.
Well, it turns out that the hose on our overflow tank had completely come off.
Well, these guys were dumping fuel on every lap in front of me. It was so bad that I couldn't get by them because it was dumping into the racing line. And so I went over to them afterwards. They said, "Hey, did you guys know?" And they said, "No, we didn't, but we noticed our fuel economy was down."
I said it was.
I said, "Yeah, and I know where it's at. It's on the racetrack, man. Some of it's on the front of our race car, but most of it's on the track." JSK Racing out front right now, heading down into turn 8. Lots of fun through here. Car kind of bottoms out. You pick up some good grip there at the base of the turn. Heading down now into the lowest part of the racetrack.
Getting a report that Team Air Patrol, their trunk is coming off of that Lexus.
Looney Tunes beginning to stretch out that gap now, about 5 seconds over P2. Looks like they exited the, I guess, number 24 left the racetrack at turn 5.
We'd like to think he exited because of that trunk, but we don't know that. There's
He might
several ways.
just want to check out the leaves. The leaves are changing and pretty.
There's several ways to leave a track. Most of them are bad.
And we're seeing some of the teams go green now as they're getting into the groove out here. The track warming up a little bit, of course, as the cars circulate and the drivers getting acclimated. Rusty Nuts, Team Milan, what else? Cone Crushers and Crash Management all turning in their fastest lap times so far. Fastest lap time so far, as you can see, for the race is through ludicrous speed, that 2:47. That is a stout lap time. Looney Tunes now leading the race and still stretching out their lead over Rusty Nuts. Ludicrous Speed up to 4th now, chasing down Team Milan.
Milan's hanging in there.
They certainly are. Some strong lap times at 2:50. Of course, Ludicrous chasing them down about almost 9 seconds in the rear of Team Milan. They're in a great spot to get themselves up into second place here before too long. Cone Crushers, though, not far behind a team that's known for finishing races. Frank Yankers Racing up to 8th right now. Just turned in a 2:56.9, their fastest lap time a 2:56.8. Looks like he's trying to get the most out of that car. Crash Management up to 9th now with that Dodge Stratus. Those guys had some trouble with that car yesterday.
You know, just looking through the field, we see a lot of cars have jumped up 28 positions, 19 positions, 9, 17, 31. There's JSK back there in 29th. They've only gained 6 positions in this race.
That's interesting.
Not near as many as other teams have made up.
Yeah, you
Varian Mustache Works up 31 spots to run in 11th. Third Gear Pulls, one of our top cars yesterday, up 19 spots.
So car 19 trying to get into the pits, but stalled before they made it all the way in. It's like they're sitting at pit in.
Conditions are not favoring to JSK? I mean,
I don't know. It seems awfully odd, though.
oh, wait, they started a lap back. So they've got to make up that lap before they can start moving up the field. That's what it is. I bet. Maybe?
Yeah, okay. I could buy that if their lap has been applied. And they're usually applying pretty quick as soon as they see everybody's transponders are working and there's no issues. So maybe that's it.
Right, so they've got to make up that lap on the field before they'll start climbing. That's what I would gather.
Right.
Don't Just Suck Racing, the Volkswagen Passat reported with a spin and continue in turn 13. And car 95 has stalled in pit lane, another neon. Again, just the neon curse, man. Where's the cloud?
The cold is killing the neons, huh?
I just don't like it. It's just these guys need to settle down and get into the groove here. That was strange.
What?
Landshark, another car that did very well yesterday. They've only gained 5 positions.
Team Milan just passed a car, and I could have swore it can't be right. I must have missed. I could have swore that it looked like the driver's window net was down. That can't be. That can't be true. It looked like it was laying on the door.
That's not good.
There's no way. It must have been. I didn't get a really good look at it, so
right.
It doesn't look like Milan's going to let him back pass, so I can look at it.
Yeah. I doubt that request would be honored.
Right.
Yeah,
like, sorry guys, I'm
true,
racing.
They'll catch it for sure if it's true, and they'll be bringing him in. But
yeah, and the new rules now, having your fire bottle pin in at pit out is a penalty, and I think also having your window net down. I can't remember if that's going to be a penalty now. I know it was discussed.
Yeah, I think we had that the last race. There was a penalty assessed. for that. So cars 216 in the pits now. Let's don't just suck after that spin in 13. They're in the pits. In turn 5, car 786 spun, trying to avoid another car. That would be another Neon. Wasted wages. If I get that right, yeah.
Ludicrous Speed is just hauling booty. Oh my goodness.
Turning in a 2:47 is the fastest lap time of the day for the race. Now 4 seconds back from P3. Cone Crushers is going to have a hard time dealing with them. But
Yeah.
it's still early, and there's a lot of different drivers that will take the wheel, and there's fuel strategy. There won't be any loafing around the track today, Doc.
No loafing.
They're going to have to
Absolutely
be.
not.
They're going to have to be flat out here.
Expect to see Ludacris come up besides Team Milan pretty soon.
I love the inside car shot we have here. The driver in the Milan car hustling that Miata around the racetrack because they are so much fun to drive. You can see the quick steering wheel adjustments he's making as the car goes over the bumps and works its way around the track. There's just nothing that replaces a roadster.
Those little cars are awesome.
Almost a perfect 50-50 weight balance split from front to rear.
I mean, I just think that is the ideal car, especially for like a beginner. Like if somebody's wanting to get into the sport, wanting to do some track days, like I just don't think you could pick another car that would be a better starting platform.
I agree, and so did Tyler Pedersen. I interviewed him a couple of weeks ago, and it got published to our website.
There goes Ludacris.
Ludacris goes by Team Milan. Excuse me, I said website. It got published to our ChampCar.live YouTube channel and to our Facebook channel. You can check out that interview. Had some good insights from Tyler about his suggestions about if you're going to get started in the sport, some direction and how he would have done things differently. As they head down into turn 5.
I mean, using someone else's hindsight is like absolutely free. I mean, like it's going to save you a ton of money.
That, like Doc and I said earlier, you got to be smart enough to listen to it, and that's.
I have a lot of problems with that.
I do too.
I certainly wish now I had bought an existing race car rather than build from scratch.
Yes. I've done both. The existing one that's been proven was the better.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that I know pretty much everything that went into my build and stuff like that. But
your checkbook?
Yeah, I don't like that impact.
So the 606 car reported that they were cutting grass in turn 2, and the Mustang Mach 1 in pit lane. And,
I mean, part of the difficulty in my bid was I had an unscrupulous builder, as it were. I wish I had found the flying wrench guys back then, but such was not the case. So he cost me a lot of time and money.
You got to get in, you get the right people. Getting the wrong people can just be.
Yeah, and I had the wrong one.
Motorcrap team reported having spun on track, which is unfortunate. This is about the same time in the race yesterday where they left the track and got stuck in the gravel in turn 3, I believe it was.
That doesn't help your lap times.
No, it's frustrating, and you've done a lot of work trying to move the car forward, and then you lose control of it, and they all pass you back, and then you start all over again.
Yep.
There goes the Ergolab Miata we talked about a little bit earlier. They've got that car up to full song, it looks like.
And they're up to 14th place.
TRM shuffling for position here. Look like it's going to be tight. Thinks the better of it. Fortunately, the car ahead saw what was coming and gave them some room. Everybody got through safely there. The TRM Motorsports checking up a little bit to avoid contact. My dad, who's been racing for, oh my gosh, I don't know, 40 years or so, observed all these in-car views and just really impressed with the Champ Car drivers, the way they look out for each other, and just really impressive. And so that's always good to hear from, I guess you might say, an elder statesman of the sport.
I can't wait to meet your dad, Polly. I feel like I should know him by now. I've chatted with him on Facebook, you know.
Yeah, he wants to meet you. Yeah. We'll have to work that out. I'm sure we'll get a chance to get him to one of the tracks with us.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Car 95, they have the hood up working on that engine, most likely not on the racetrack. And 216 in the pits. Yeah, my dad's a lot of fun. You have a good time with him. He's a lot of fun. Back on board with Team Milan.
with you.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah, it'd be fun to have him come down with me. It's always a big race for us, and I'm hoping to find some track time there next year. It's my favorite track to drive.
What track is that?
NCM.
NCM, okay. I thought that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, I was there last weekend.
I dozed off there for a second.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I'm
just kidding.
I just realized that, Tiffany. I promised to go down there with you and show you some things, and I never did that. So
we'll have to meet up there for a track day sometime.
That would be great. Let's do that. That'd be fun.
That's such a fun course. We had some friends from down south, that went up for it, and then some friends from Ohio and stuff that came down, and kind of a nice place to meet in the middle. Bowling Green is such a nice area too. You got lots of good restaurants to choose from, so it's just a neat place.
Yeah, it really is. It's kind of to me, maybe you know more about it than I do. I've been there a few times, but it's kind of more like a college town. So there's some nice places to eat, and there's nice places to stay near the racetrack. It's not really out in the boonies.
No, it's right off the interstate. You can actually see it on I-65 as you drive by. You can see it off to the right. If you're going north, obviously I'm usually going north, but it's right there.
Well, there's a big Corvette factory there. Go figure.
Yeah.
Right. They
National Corvette Museum. Which
yeah. Yeah, it was famous for, of course, the sinkhole several years back.
And now they have one on track.
Matt Busby is the track manager out there at NCM, who's the son of the famous Jim Busby.
He's not actually the son. He's
no?
They're related, but he's not his son.
Okay.
He's a super, super, super nice guy, though.
Yeah, he was down at New Orleans Motorsports Park for a while. He's a big LSU fan, so we're tight. LSU won last night, by the way.
Really?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Beat Mississippi State. Now we got 2 weeks to prepare for Alabama.
Sorry.
Well, Matt is
We're
looking
going to beat,
for,
of course, Alabama, Tiffany.
Matt did tell me he's looking for a seat for Indy. So if anybody's looking to have a quality driver and open up a seat for Matt Busby, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, he's got several cars that he tracks. Nice guy, really nice guy.
So Looney Tunes continuing to stretch out their lead, 16 seconds ahead of P2. And then it's Ludicrous Speed on the hunt. Again, they've trimmed down the fastest lap time of the day to a 2:46 now, 0.8. They're 4 seconds back from P2. They've already passed Team Milan. So with these lap times, it's not going to take more than a lap or two here. They're going to find themselves in second spot, pursuing for the lead.
Fastest time, lap after lap. There they go.
There it is. They just changed. They went across the start-finish line. They're now in P2. They're 20 seconds back from the lead.
Bill's losing his mind.
Oh, God. Yeah, I forgot. We're not going to hear the end of this.
Well, as we know, it's one thing to take the lead. It's another thing to hang on to it.
Yeah, we still got a long race to go.
TRM heading down the front straightaway. Crosses the start-finish line. Doing a nice job of hanging to the left there as some of the quicker cars come by. Rolling speed through the corner pretty quick there. So there's some traffic up ahead. There goes Ludacris again.
Wow.
Putting a lap now on TRM.
We're not going to report that latest info.
What about the driver from the 290 car ran out?
Oh,
like
man,
you're
going to call out the guy. Come on, that's mean.
That's funny. That's what I just said earlier, though.
I'm just reporting it. I don't know.
We don't know this for a fact.
Well, he ran to his motorhome really fast. Now, how do you... I mean, what's that...
Who was the driver? I think it was,
didn't agree with him.
I think it was Keselowski hopped out during the red flag at the Daytona 500, and several drivers hit the Porta-John over by the bus stop at Daytona.
I mean, it's hard to concentrate when you have a full bladder.
Oh, absolutely. I know that Triumph Speed Triple I had. Boy, it could shake the pee out of me in a heartbeat.
Well, I mean, it's a balancing act, right? I mean, like literally, you're trying to stay hydrated too, because you're working your behind off while you're in the car. So you're trying to stay hydrated, and you don't want to overhydrate so that in the middle of your stint, you've got something else on your mind.
Oh no, Milan has broken a drive shaft. It looks like.
Oh. I was wondering what was going on with those guys. They were dropping.
Now they broke a drive shaft at Brainerd too.
Putting out too much power.
That's what I was thinking.
It looks to me like he's up against the pit wall, but
he's at pit in, I think.
Yeah, so Milan, he is sitting at pit in against the pit wall. He broke the drive shaft as he took off out of pit lane or out of the stop area. So they're trying to push him off track, and we're going to get a flatbed truck to him.
So he was in the pits?
Yeah, he was coming up the lane, and as he took off, the drive shaft broke.
Oh, after he picked up his clock.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow,
They're pushing him off track now, so they might actually be able to push him to the pit lane without a...
Oh, that's Jerry Chin that's in the car.
Yeah.
Who?
That's Jerry Chin. He's out of Canada. He's one of the drivers. I've driven with him before.
Yeah, so they pushed it out behind them.
Why was he on pit row anyway?
Well, that's the question. Maybe he sensed there was some kind of a problem.
Right. Okay. That would make more sense because it's way too early for them to come in and pit.
Oh, man. Ludicrous pinwheeling. Come on.
And Crushers are up to 4th, and the Crank Yankers are sitting in 5th place now.
Oh, we've got a car off track in the grass. I got to mute you, Bill. There's too much noise back there, man. Sorry. TRM is off the track in the grass right now. Looks like he's talking to his crew. See if we can bring that in.
Trans out.
Saying that he's okay, so they may have had contact again. We'll wait to see.
Yeah, I mean, why would they ask him if he
was
was okay if it was just a transmission problem, right?
Right. TRM, the number 318 car this weekend. Looks like we're going to go to full course yellow now.
Wow.
We didn't see that at all yesterday, even with the terrible weather and all the spins. So
Yeah. Well, exactly 1 hour into the race.
Car number 24 being reported back on pit lane from an extended time behind in the paddock. So we've reached the bottom of the hour, and we need to take our station break anyway. So stay with us, everybody. We'll be back here in just a few minutes. Frozen rotors from Diversified Cryogenics deliver increased performance and a higher level of safety while significantly reducing braking system costs. Our proprietary 60-hour cryogenic process permanently and dramatically improves the usage life and stability of brake rotors, creating a distinct advantage in tensile strength, abrasive wear resistance, and rotor longevity. Frozen rotors, it's the cost-saving solution for better braking performance.
Our market-leading product is a Novec based. It's a 3M Novec fire suppressant. And what really makes us special is the delivery system. This new 8865 3620 system puts that Novec, two separate systems, puts Novec in the cockpit, Novec in the engine bay in less than a second, immediately engulfing the area with a fire extinguishant. So by flooding the area that quickly, we're able to actually put out fires, save equipment, save our drivers. Obviously, that's the most important part.
Discovery Parts is a veteran-owned racing and safety equipment company located inside Atlanta Motorsports Park in Dawsonville, Georgia. We take pride in being a reseller of the best of the industry to Champ Car teams and drivers. We know racing, love racing, and look forward to tomorrow to even more racing. Visit us at discoveryparts.com.
Somebody that gets hot?
Cool Shirt's personal cooling systems are designed to keep you cool and safe in hot environments. The football shirt is worn under the shoulder pads for total player comfort. For race car drivers, Cool Shirts offers a driving cooling system for virtually every racing application. The multi-person cooling system is designed to meet the demands of the firefighter in rehab. Cool Shirts offers a variety of designs for anyone who gets hot.
Cool Shirt, the worldwide leader in personal cooling systems. Race your phone and become a winner.
Champ Car Endurance Series is sponsored by RVA Graphics and Wraps, a custom graphics shop that specializes in the design and production of the best quality made-to-order vehicle graphics. And by Lifeline. Lifeline uses the latest technology in motorsport fire suppression and extinguishing and is the leader of in-car fire safety systems using Novec and Triple F foam. And Willwood Disc Brakes. Willwood Engineering is a global leader and manufacturer of high-performance, original equipment disc brake solutions. And Cool Shirt Systems. Cool Shirt's personal cooling systems, vests, and garments offer comfort, safety, mobility, and durability when performance matters. And Maxxis Tires. Maxxis Tires International is committed to delivering high-performance, affordable tires to the world. And Frozen Rotors. Premium cryogenically treated brake pads and brake rotors by Diversified Cryogenics. And OMP Sport, one of the world's leading manufacturers of safety equipment and tuning accessories. And by Racing Radios, the leader in racing communications worldwide, providing quality and affordable communication systems for racers and fans alike. And DiscoveryParts.com, offering the best in auto safety racing apparel. All right, everyone, welcome back here to Road America. It is the Winter Classic, the Frozen Rotors Winter Classic here.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Bill. Go ahead.
Hey, we are going black flag all. We are going to pull all the cars down pit lane. The guys, we have oil from the bridge sign to turn 3. So they can't clean it up with the cars on the track. So we're going to black flag everybody down pit lane.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that, Bill. So what he's explaining is there's a sort of like a sign it's a Briggs and Stratton sign that goes over the track at turn 2, which is more of a kink a little bit in the track down to turn 3, which is a downhill braking zone. And they've got oil strewn down there, so they've got to get all of that cleaned up before they can go on. So that's going to be within this area here. So just as we were leaving for a commercial, we went full course caution, and at the same time, Team Milan brought their Miata into the pits and broke an axle as they were leaving pit in with the clock. So they've pulled that car behind the wall. They're looking at that car right now. Ludicrous speed. We were watching them run up through the field, and they had turned the fastest lap time of the day so far, 2:46.8, and they're currently in P2. This full course caution has helped narrow that gap down considerably. So now they've got themselves in a good position to overtake Looney Tunes for the lead. So they're still out on the racetrack right now. So we started off with Looney Tunes leading. They almost, I guess, came to a stop on the racetrack and then proceeded. Looks like N&M Motorsports was meatballed for smoking. So that gets you up to speed where we're at from the first hour here. Another note that I saw was that there were so many cars that were off track, they'd run out of tow trucks to bring them all in quickly. So they went to the full course caution, and now cannot work on the car during a black flag condition, of course. So they're going to bring all the cars under black flag into the pits. They'll line them up in order behind the pace car and stop them there so that crews have time to service the track. So they're going to be working on that to get things back to racing.
So the rules under a black flag condition like that are similar to the red flag conditions. They're not allowed to work on the car or do anything to their cars.
Right. They can service the driver if the driver needs a bottle of water or something like that. But you have to be very careful doing anything near the car. It's almost best to ask a marshal, because you don't want to be accused of doing something to the car and then find yourself taking in a penalty. So
what about the guys that are in back in the paddock? Do they have to stop working on their car?
No, that's different.
That's different. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
there's really no way to police that.
They would be supposed to stop too, right?
Yeah, back in the paddock, I mean, we just don't have enough marshals to go back there and make sure that there's no work being done. It's just impractical.
So they kind of get a pass back there.
Okay. I was just
They're already in enough trouble.
Poor guys. Yeah. You want to walk back there. Okay, put your wrenches down.
Yeah.
We're red flag out there.
Let's see. Who's all with us? Jessica Gorn, that's Alon's wife. Thank you for the empanadas. all the time, constantly. Alex Rockwell's on there with BBY Racing. Phil McKinney. Vernette Baker is on. And Zachary Mortimer, I know he's working on that new E46 build for the Chattanooga Touring Wagon Meisterschaft team. So,
yeah, hi Mike. Thanks for joining us over there on. He's just saying hi to us over on our YouTube channel, Mike Coppola. So hello back to you, and
Mike's
enjoy your day in the garage.
Our technical advisory committee.
Yeah, he's in the garage today, most likely working on his car. So, and just getting a comment from Bill up in the tower that there's oil on most of the racetrack, and that's why we had cars spinning off the racetrack. And just before we left, we were looking at the TRM Motorsports team as they were off track with that car, and the driver explaining that he was okay. Here they're being
he
pulled
said
back
even under
in.
yellow, like there was cars spinning, so I guess that was the oil. That makes sense.
Yep, he's being towed in.
Yeah, through some of the back channels here of the racetrack.
Hey, Roger Cohen's on with us on Facebook. Hey, Roger.
Hey, Roger. Hey, Chris. I think they're working on the Lexus, trying to get it ready for its next race.
Yeah, which should be AMP.
I was trying to talk them into AMP. I didn't get anywhere with that.
Maybe we'll see him anyway.
He has a tendency to make guest appearances, as you've noticed.
Yeah, Roger was giving me hell not too long ago. He says, like, where's Bill and I went to the Eurasian shops last year and talked with those guys, with your hubby.
Yeah.
And a couple of the guys, and he's like, how come that never aired? And it was really one of our first attempts at an in-shop interview, and it just Polly probably got the raw video and went, are you kidding, guys? I can't make anything of this.
The quality of it turned out not good, right?
No. It was kind of disjointed. We had a couple of cameras set up, but we were all sitting around in a circle, and that just didn't work.
I mean, the interview, from watching it, being there, some of that went really well, but get all that on camera.
Yeah, we did, and like I said, we were pretty new at it back then. That was so it just couldn't get together in any kind of feasible form. Not that we've improved any, but no, I'm kidding. The interviews are going well now.
So that sounds like it's time for a redo when y'all come back to Barber this year.
See, that would be awesome.
Hey, Paul.
Make that happen.
Yeah.
We could do
That's a recording, buddy.
Yeah, I see that now.
You could do that in your kitchen.
Something wrong there.
We can, since you'll already be here.
Yeah.
Put something on the grill and, 2 birds, 1 shot, dinner and an interview.
Man, see, that sounds better every time I hear it.
So they've technically gone to a red flag now. They got everybody into the pits. The TRM car, as you may have noticed, was being towed without a driver, or it doesn't look like it needs it. They had that hooked up to a truck or something, bringing it back in. So we are full course red now. We've gone red. I guess there's no such thing as a partial.
No, it's pretty much all or nothing, right?
It's like being partially pregnant. Doesn't really happen.
Doesn't happen.
Camera inside the TRM car, assessing the damage. Looks like they're trying to put it onto. They're trying to take it off the trailer, off the truck hook. That's what they're doing.
Oh, Roger's saying that the engine's still not running in their car, but he is going to AMP, running in the Danger Racing car. I think he told me that. I might have forgot.
Oh, cool. Danger's pitted right next to us.
He has a tendency to show up places.
Yeah, he does. Well, he's actually a good driver. Terrible.
Oh, he's amazing.
I'm just kidding, Roger. Just kidding. Yeah, but they're pitting near us at AMP.
Awesome. That's that other Lexus, right?
We got those. Yeah, that's another Lexus. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got the email went out for pit assignments and everything. So we got John Allen, Running Bulls, Brew Crew, and Danger Group, and then that Troy guy.
Oh boy.
Leviathan's also going to be there. So there's 2 MR2s right in a row. That's
Bringing down the neighborhood.
Sure. Leviathan's got that interesting MR2 where everybody else went to the high wings and stuff like that.
Sorry, gang.
Leviathan's got more like a prototype now look. It's a prototype now look. What does that mean? They've got like a low rear end on that car.
Yeah.
Like a low drag rear end. Trying to think of what car it reminds me of.
So they're going with a completely different kind of look and benefits than some of the other ones. Okay.
And I'm really trying to think of what car it reminds me of. I guess some of the more popular DP cars that are running now.
Can't help you with that.
So an interesting look, whereas everybody else, has gone to that high wing look. They've lowered the back of their car. So they're asking the pit marshals to look at all the cars that are parked there, see if anybody's leaking oil. Now, we had a report that that cone crushers might have been leaking oil. That's not been confirmed.
We had that earlier, right?
Cone crusher's running in 3rd now. Ergo Lab down in 11th. Spartan Racing has made their way back up. That's our 2nd place finishing car from yesterday. They're in 13th position. And JSK has moved up to 15th position.
And this is going to kind of cut Looney Tunes' big lead. They were trying to push out, get some space and put Ludacris right behind them.
Oh yeah, it's going to get interesting when we go back to green.
Turning some crazy lap times, so crazy good.
Yeah, crazy good.
I'd like to drive one of those MR2s. Oh my gosh, Bill's gonna never hear the end of it sometime. Because I drive a mid-engine car already, a Boxster.
Right.
So
yeah.
I would like to drive it just to see the similarities or differences.
Well, one of these days, aren't we going to get your Boxster out there in a Champ Car field?
We talked about doing it for Barber, and I was fighting some temperature issues. I actually resolved those with the help of another Boxster team that I met.
Yeah. Well, Byron used to, Byron Pugh used to drive a Boxster.
Byron's such a good guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I know him through his wife, Jennifer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. I know Byron from the track. He's always around this way.
Right. Well, he's a Porsche instructor.
Yeah. At the PED, I think, the Porsche PDE driving experience.
Yeah. So, and he's I've never made it, but he's also hosted a couple of events at Little Dega.
Oh yeah, Tigbury. Yeah.
Never have made it over there. In fact, you've hosted a couple there, at least.
I have.
Right?
Yeah, several. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's that cost to run over there?
So it's under new ownership over the last about maybe like 2 years ago, and as with a new owner, it's been rapidly changing.
Sure.
So a group that I used to go over there with just recently had some difficulties with booking. So they ended up not booking with them.
Right.
So every time I've called them
about
every time I've called them about running the track for something, it's different. So I don't even know where they're at right now with things. So we'll see how it shakes out once they find their groove for track management. I believe this is the owner's first round at track management, my understanding. Seemed like a really nice guy. The other guys had run their course with entertaining the track people.
Right. Well, I know I
So,
just got an invitation from Nabil about a Just Track It event at Barber. I want to say the week after we're there, or 2
It
weeks
is.
after.
Just Track It is running an event. I believe it's just a Sunday only, the Sunday following the Champ Car race.
Ah.
That will be at Barber. Correct.
Well,
Yeah.
I might be over there if we don't have a race to broadcast, but December gets pretty busy for us.
Yeah.
Between Barber, VIR North, what is the rest of our schedule?
VIR North, is it doubles or a single day?
Hang on, I'm looking
at my schedule in front of me.
I'm looking it up. Let's see. Schedule. So coming up, we got mid-November, 17th and 18th is the Auto Club Speedway at 7 on the Roval. December 1st and 2nd, we have VIR North.
Okay.
That's an 8 plus a 7. December 8th and 9th, we have an 8 plus 7 at Barber. December 14th through 16th, that's a test day and a 7 at Seca. And then the 29th and 30th, we're at Sebring for the 7. So that Sebring race should be pretty interesting. This is the first time we've run a 7 enduro there. Normally it's been a 10-hour race. Right. So, you know, with the 14-hour race that we have there in what, September? August?
Usually in September. Late September.
Yeah. 30. So you got to kind of take it easy on your car to go that distance. And the same thing for a 10-hour. But this 7, I'll be interested to see what the lap times are, if teams step it up a notch.
I've heard a lot of teams really interested about that Sebring race, and several people saying they're going. So,
right. Well, yeah, it's these entries will certainly grow. Right now, it's only at 15 cars. Oh, and I see Birmingham there.
So we're going back to full course caution, fellas, guys and girls, as we're getting ready to roll back out onto the racetrack.
Yeah, that's later on, Paulie.
No, it's actually 1 minute.
But yeah, no, Team Birmingham's on that New Year's Eve. I'm going to see if I can hitch a ride with somebody and go down there. I had a lot of fun. Michael Bulls with Running Bulls was kind enough to give me a lift down there, and Bill was kind enough to share his hotel room. So I went down there and covered the race. It's a lot of fun to get down there.
Oh, that'll be awesome. I'm glad the team told me about that. We have the rolling hotel room, but I just don't drive the RV because that is a little more than I can handle.
Right.
I'm still in training on that one.
I'm really interested in the warm weather down there.
Exactly.
So if you're just signing on with us now, we're just coming off of a red flag, supposedly heading back on track here in a minute. We had quite a bit of oil that was down on the racetrack. We were just observing one of the teams one of the cars that we had a camera in that went off track, and apparently they broke something on the car. So don't know if they had maybe contact with the wall or whatever the case may be, but
yeah, he was reporting transmission problems, but the radio message was kind of cryptic and said, "Are you okay?" Well, you know, if the transmission broke, yeah, chances are he's okay.
Yeah, he had the car off in the grass, and but we got reports that there were multiple cars spinning on the racetrack because there was oil on multiple parts of the racetrack, and they'd run out of tow trucks to bring all the cars in, so they had to stop the race, get the cars brought in, clean up the racetrack. There was a report from Team Milan, their Mazda Miata, that broke a rear axle, so that all happened it all came down kind of at the same time. Cars are rolling out of the pits now.
So I see Roger coming at AMP in the Danger Racing car. It's going to be Chris Huggins, him, and Hurley.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the report is they'll do one lap and then go back to green. The pace car will come in.
I know Chip Schenk is coming down for AMP, and he is going to be in Biohazard's car.
It's hard to keep up with all the guest drivers sometimes, but
I know.
It's really interesting though.
We need to start selling programs. You can't tell your players without a program. Get your programs.
Wait a second. Chip is banned from driving Toyota MR2s.
Oops.
Maybe
maybe he's paying a good fee, so that can actually trump a ban.
Right now, I think that's the car he's in, but I can't remember for sure.
For what race?
No, I take it back. I think he's in the Jazz car, John Allen Special.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, because I didn't think he drives Toyota, because that would go against his BMW contract.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, BMW is very strict about those contracts. In fact, I'm excluded from driving. Wait.
We're getting a message from the tower that Chip is slow.
Who said that?
It came right from control. I don't know. It must be official.
Oh, and Chance is going to be in that car as well. So
I'm looking around control here. I don't know who would have typed that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when he said Huggins and Hurley, he meant it's Sebring. Okay.
Oh.
Silver green plastic.
Okay, cars are back on track. And yep, cars are back on track. They're circulating.
Yeah, we can. We're hip to it, man.
You know that the cars are on track now.
We're watching it. Like
we're hip to it. I like that.
We're hip to the trip.
God, this new guy sure has old words he uses. Hip.
Yeah, far out, man.
You were a teenager in the '60s, weren't you, Doc?
Yeah, I sure was.
Groovy, man.
Never could tell that. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I was in elementary school in the '60s. Paul, what were you in? Were you born in the '60s?
Yet.
Yeah, you weren't born.
No, man, I wasn't born until the '80s.
You were born until the '80s. So bad. Because you're like 50 now, aren't you?
Sure.
I'm gonna reach through the broadcast and punch you.
Oh, he is 50.
We still got to figure out a way to get Bill punched out on pit row.
Well, if Bill doesn't go on pit road, he won't get punched.
That's the thing. We have to get Bill back onto pit road. So
it's too cold out there.
Oh, it is not. It's a balmy 48 or something.
For that? Show worthy.
Huh?
It's show worthy.
What?
Whatever Michael played during that. All the incidents had to clean up.
Oh. Yeah, we're talking about show-worthy scenes and stuff. And yesterday's race with all the spins. What was it?
We picked up 4 cars, cleaned up 3/4 or half-mile of oil, and fixed the concrete wall barrier, and took all in 13 minutes.
Wow. So 13 minutes. They fixed a concrete wall barrier. They did a quarter of the track. Yeah, swept up oil from a quarter of the track and picked up 4 cars.
I wonder if TRM hit that concrete barrier going into the bus stop.
Maybe. There was so much going on. It was pretty insane up here. I've questioned myself as like, could I run a race for Champ Car? And the answer would be no.
Yeah, me neither.
I would yell at people one thing at a time. People, everybody needs to stop now.
Right. Yeah, no, they're multitaskers up there.
Oh my goodness, yes they are. 700 is now leaving pit lane.
All right, so it looks like the pace car is
and we are green
in the pits, and we're back to green now. On board with JSK as they're heading up the hill, and of course this is the team that won yesterday.
Jerry Enger's Ecotech Miata was just passing cars like crazy going up the hill here. We got one car off in one already. Oh, he's spinning.
Sign backwards up against that tire barrier.
Yep.
Yep.
Looks like 150. Let me look.
That's Team Milan.
Well, that can't be.
250.
That's more like it.
He's probably going to need some help. I think he touched the concrete.
Yeah, 251 or 250 spin. That's turn one. He's off into the, as they call it, the beach.
Yeah, there's a lot of gravel out there. It just goes and goes.
And it slowed him down pretty quick, too. That's pretty awesome watching it on the track video here. They're going to have to get him out of there. He might be stuck.
Yeah, it looks like.
Excuse me.
He may need to change his undies, too.
What I was thinking.
Well, he was in pretty heavy traffic.
Yeah.
Our buddies in the Crank Yankers car is in 4th place. See if they can keep that car underneath them.
Looney Tunes still leading the race. Trying to hold off Ludicrous Speed here. We'll see what happens with that.
Not exactly as you say.
So somebody was asking why the Looney Tunes was not at the lead pack when they left pit lane. And basically we allowed the cars that were already at pit out to leave first so they wouldn't go down a lap. So they got to lead out, and we started the race with Looney Tunes, I think 4 or 5 cars back.
Yeah. And sometimes, you know, when they're going to bring everybody in, they'll just send the car. They'll just send if it's an emergency, they'll just send that pace car out and pick up whoever they pick up and bring them in.
All right, 250 has pulled himself out with help of safety, and he's now back on track.
So no need to concern themselves with pulling that driver out.
Nothing to see here, folks. Keep moving.
No, just keep moving on.
That's the Ding Dang Racing.
Reaching the top of the hour.
I know.
Yeah, they had trouble yesterday, too. Just not the weekend they're hoping for.
Maybe
they'll be able to get it. Yeah, maybe they'll be able to get things righted and start turning some good laps with that car. So 246.8, the lowest lap time so far set by Ludicrous Speed. 23 laps completed so far here at the Frozen Rotors Winter Classic for the Champ Car Endurance Series, presented by RVA Graphics and Wraps.
Well, we can't see it, but I'm sure Ludicrous Speed is right behind Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Judging by what lap times they were turning.
Mm-hmm.
The gap at 1.59 seconds the last time they crossed the start-finish line. JSK, our winner from last year, up in 11th place.
Winner from yesterday.
Yeah, you just got to wonder what these guys have in their hip pocket for today. They were so dominant yesterday, it just seemed like nobody was going to be able to deal with them.
Well,
They got to make up a lap, and you know, they just stayed up front there.
Well, of course, it's all up to speculations, the woulda, couldas, shouldas. But if Premium Dudes hadn't had those 2 PUI black flags, they would have been right up there with JSK.
And I think it was Tiffany that pointed out these guys were strong in the dry and the wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had so much rain yesterday, so much wet weather conditions, I guess, because it was a mix of rain and snow and sleet, and it was just all over the place. And that really throws
so it just doesn't seem
a
like
wrench
they have
in everything.
pace today.
So we don't only.
Gotta mute you there, Bill. Some background noise going on.
Now he catches back up to him, but
Yeah.
They could have one of their more conservative drivers in the car. This is, the first stint.
True enough.
It's early out there. Just go out and get some laps in.
Yeah, I would have loved to have talked to him about that last stint yesterday, because as we saw, the Spartan Racing was really hammering down on him, and then all of a sudden they picked up 20 seconds a lap. Well, that's not. There must have been instructions to the driver to keep it, keep a more conservative pace until they saw what was happening, because there's no way. I mean, you can pick up 20 seconds.
Yeah, all of a sudden he just dropped the hammer.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Got a message that from Road America's safety director that our drivers performed great and gave the safety crew no issues. So that's great to hear coming from them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Turn 5. Car number 205 reported needing a flat toe. Started the race with over 60 cars this morning.
Yeah, 64, I believe. Started 74 yesterday.
On this 14-corner, 4-mile road course here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin.
Hey, Ludicrous Speed took over number 1.
Go figure.
I know. We saw that happening. Cone Crushers in 3rd. No?
Yeah, baby.
There you go, Doc.
Come on, guys. Let's put that hammer down.
They're going to have to turn up the wick and if they're going to pass Looney Tunes at this point.
What was that, sorry?
It happened in the bend.
So Ludacris took over the lead in the bend. I told Mike Morrison, I said, "Who's in the lead, Mike?" And he had to say it. He had to say it.
You're just loving that, aren't you, Bill?
He didn't want to say it, but he had to say it.
Nobody wants to say it, Bill.
Crash Management in their Dodge Stratus up in 8th. Ergo Lab up to 11th now. Just turned their fastest lap time so far today. So still working those lap times down. The Miata team. Looney Tunes in that Ford Mustang that they have been racing with us for quite a while. They have won out here before with that car. Just turned a 251. Trying to chase down that Toyota. Now we'll see who's got the fuel to make it here. Now this first stint's going to be messed up because everybody's they didn't use the fuel for about 15 minutes.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. I would imagine with the red flag that the driver stints have reset.
I don't shake things up, but that's the way it goes.
That's a decision that's made up in race control, whether they choose to reset the driver stints or not.
We were off track for 30 minutes. We went full course yellow at 9:30, went back to green at 9:59. So I don't know that driver stints would change. That's only a half an hour.
I wonder if they allowed them to put a new driver in or not, or they made them go with the driver that was in.
No, I didn't see any window nets come down.
Okay. All the drivers remained in the cars?
Yeah, nor did I see any crew assisting drivers, things like that. So maybe Bill can find out from Mike Morrison.
Just to verify those.
But I bet you, I don't think they would increase the driver stints, but I don't know.
I know sometimes it's allowed driver stints to reset or put new drivers in the car, but
right.
That wouldn't be considered a break, though, sitting in the car on the pit lane waiting to go back out. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either, and it'd really be difficult for timing and scoring.
Right.
Looney Tunes and Ludicrous Speed 1 and 2 both just set their fastest lap times of the day. A 2:45 with a 2:47 by Looney Tunes. So both drivers really working at this. Just under 3 seconds separate them.
Ludacris just set fastest lap, and Mike just walked up in control. So everybody be on their best behavior.
Like that's going to happen. He doesn't listen to us.
It doesn't get much better than this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is it. This is what you get.
This is the
such lofty heights that we have reached.
Yeah. When you take that first sip of that beer, that's the way it's going to taste all the way to almost the bottom, man.
Yep.
Only the bottom is the very worst.
Yep.
But that's basically what you have to work with.
Yeah. I don't even know. Mike doesn't watch these. He could care less what we do. Now, Andrew is a different matter.
The one that Marshall went over there, and he was like, hey.
So any word from the control tower about driver stint being reset, Bill?
Was the driver stint reset?
No, it was discounted. It was 13 minutes.
It was discounted? Okay.
Sorry, there's a 13-minute reset or a red flag. So no, it's not been reset.
Okay.
Actual red flag was less than 10.
Yeah, it was. No, it's not reset.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
So we can still expect cars in at 10:30.
Oh, gosh. Yes. I'm not going to be ready for that.
Yes, you are, Bill. Hurry.
Okay.
Got 15 minutes.
Yeah, you've got more than 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Wow, he just lost
Thank God for
power at his house. Luckily, he had everything back up. He's back up now. It went off like big. So
All right, so we've got Looney Tunes behind Ludicrous Speed right now. Ludicrous has taken the lead of the race. Cone Crushers in P3. Crank Yankers up to P4. They just turned their fastest lap time to a 2:53 as they just went across the start-finish line.
Tyler and Company. Clueless Racing right behind them just set their personal FTD.
There's a look there.
Y'all notice is when those teams cross the timing and scoring loop, that line turns briefly gray. That's what's going on there.
And of course, if you want to follow along with the same information that we receive on the show, you can just go to racehero.io on the web, or you can pick up their app in the App Store or Google Play Store if you're one of those Android people.
And it's free. You say that with disdain.
I don't understand that.
What does that mean?
Hey, Paul.
If you're one of those Android.
Yes, William.
Paul, Mike Chiswick just asked me a really important question. He wants to know how our new employee is doing.
He's still under observation. It's still in the
under
trial
observation.
period.
It's still a trial.
But I will say this, he can be kind of snarky, gets a little mouthy towards the media director.
Yeah, he is getting a little snarky towards the media director. We have a smoker at 13.
Yeah, 212 black.
212 black.
Okay, thanks for that, Bill. Sorry, Doc. We got to swing while we
If our
can.
media director did a better job, I wouldn't have to.
Oh, there it is.
Hey,
and if we just had a pit reporter.
See. Oh,
You'll have one later. We'll have one later.
Remember, starting tomorrow, I'm his boss again.
Oh, okay.
We're walking that thin line.
We can only get away with those jokes because Bill works so hard. If you've ever been around him at a race, he's running 24.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, it's exhausting to watch. You're like, wow.
I do get tired watching.
And he's a fairly good sport when giving crap.
And the amount of gear he brings to the race, my God.
So, guys, you see what's going on here? We're readjusting the inclination of the front end of this BMW again.
Oh.
Ah, yes, that would be the silver vehicle facing him. Is the adjustment tool?
Yes. The driver inside holding the brake pedal. as they work to straighten out the front end of that BMW again. This was done yesterday, too.
These are fine alignment tools, folks. Do not try this at home.
Very technical.
Oh, I love this sport. I just love it. It's so much fun. This is great.
Nothing like it.
Yeah, you know, of course, Michael Bowles of Running Bulls helped us when we hit the guardrails at Barber, helped us get our car back in alignment at a track alignment, as it were. And it was like, bring it up to about 2,000 RPM and dump the clutch, you know. And 1,500 didn't cut it. Let's give it one more good yank. And then, of course, you get under there with the tie rod, and you can see just how much you screwed up the car.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, JSK Racing, those guys obviously won the race yesterday. Trying to bring that car back up into the field. Looney Tunes spent most of their day replacing the engine in this Mustang. Much better position out here on the racetrack. Looks like that might be Crank Yankers Racing just up ahead. Those guys also spent a lot of time behind the wall yesterday after contact with the wall.
Yeah, first they had to fix that right front, and then they got the car, I think, back out on track, and they said it was really Yankee, jerky. What was the word they used? I can't remember. But anyway, they looked further and found that the rear trailing arm was also messed up.
So they had to get all that replaced, and last night they did, and they got it back out onto the racetrack this morning and
running pretty strong.
Good.
Yeah, up in P4. Looks like Looney Tunes heading into the pits.
That makes about sense.
Yeah.
So coming up to the, well, it's about almost, within the next 10 minutes, other teams will have to be pitting too.
Yep.
But that Ford is thirsty, even though they had about a 15-minute break in the pits.
Yeah, that seems a little odd.
Yeah, that seems a little early. That's going to put them with an extra pit stop if they...
You can play that since it's a 5-minute stop, and there's going to be 2 more stops.
But this would have been a better time to bank a little bit of time, you know, because you had been sitting in the pits saving that fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been better to bank a little bit, get it closer to that 2-hour mark.
I would think so.
But apparently they just don't have that as an option. So in the pits, they're going to take fuel, do their driver change as the crew hops over the wall.
Shield down, buddy.
Yep, visors down is the rule when they're fueling as soon as that gas cap comes off.
And, of course, we don't know. Some teams do the maintenance first and then do the fueling.
Right.
You can do it either way, just not at the same time.
Right, exactly. Well, you can do the driver change and the fueling at the same time, but, yeah, no work.
Right.
I've seen a few teams do it, but almost everybody takes fuel first.
And uses the remaining time to do any work.
Yeah, to do any work, because then, you know, you can see how much time by looking at the clock. It's, you know, most people check the oil, but, you know, if you've got a couple of more minutes on the clock, you can check your torque on your wheels, really do a better job at cleaning the windshield.
Check your pressures on your tires, that sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why almost everybody fuels first. And most teams can fuel in about under a minute.
Car 138 reported off the track and then back on. That's blown my wad. If you'd like to find out more technical information about how to get your car working at its best, you can check out the Champ Car Garage Facebook page or our ChampCar.live YouTube channel for the Race Tech with Drew Nab video series. There's 6 videos there that you can watch, and Drew takes us through detailed explanation of how to set up the cars.
Ludicrous speed in pit lane.
All right. Thanks for that, Bill.
Still seems a little early for them, too.
Yeah. I mean, they're still going to be able to hit the race with a minimum number of stops, but it seems awfully odd they're coming in early when yesterday they were stretching it out to the last minute. In fact, I thought several teams had the potential to go over their driver stint limits simply because the lap here is so long.
Right. I mean, if they come in right now, 5 minutes, if they do the minimum pit stop, they're going to be out ahead of 10:30. So that.
Yeah, but yeah, it seems odd.
They're close. Yeah.
Of course, fueling here, like at AMP, is going to take a little bit less time, at least for the BMWs, because most of the gas tank fill necks are on the passenger side of the car, and that's the closest to pit wall. So you don't have to carry fuel cans to the other side of the car and stuff like that. But most teams can probably fuel in a maximum time of a minute, 30 seconds. So you still got plenty of time to work on these cars.
Mm-hmm. Take a look at everything.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time you're sitting there just chatting to the driver because you've got 30 seconds on the clock. There's no sense in sending him down to pit out until you're ready to go out on track. Get in there. We talked about it yesterday. Get him out there with 10 seconds to like calm down and kind of get mentally prepared for his stint out on the track. So.
Right, but not with a lot of time left on it, and that kind of clogs up the pit out. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's a pain in the ass when you're working pit out and you get, 10 cars all coming there and they've got 10 seconds left. Some of them have 30 seconds. Like, what are you doing here?
Right.
You're just clogging up the show.
Right.
So you really, especially if you're working alone, you look at the driver and it's like, you got 5 seconds and then you can leave and I'm going to be watching you.
Right. Well, I mean, if you're the team that's, coming down there with less than 10 seconds to go, you're expecting to come through pit out, drop your timer and head out on the track.
And head out. Right.
Right. And if there's clogged up with a bunch of cars that, have extra time that they haven't, they still got to serve.
Right.
That can delay you getting back on track, which is really not fair,
No.
So,
and we've gone down to talk to teams before.
Like, don't do that. Please.
So Looney Tunes looks like they completed their service. They got that Mustang back out onto the racetrack. As the new driver is in the car, winding up through the gears, let's just take a listen in to this American Muscle as it winds around this beautiful racetrack in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Frozen rotors from Diversified Cryogenics deliver increased performance and a higher level of safety while significantly reducing braking system costs. Our proprietary 60-hour cryogenic process permanently and dramatically improves the usage life and stability of brake rotors, creating a distinct advantage in tensile strength, abrasive wear resistance, and rotor longevity. Frozen rotors, it's the cost-saving solution for better braking performance.
Our market-leading product is a Novec based. It's a 3M Novec fire suppressant. And what really makes us special is the delivery system. This new 8865-3620 system puts that Novec, two separate systems, puts Novec in the cockpit, Novec in the engine bay in less than a second, immediately engulfing the area with a fire extinguishant. So by flooding the area that quickly, we're able to actually put out fires, save equipment, save our drivers. Obviously, that's the most important part.
Discovery Parts is a veteran-owned racing and safety equipment company located inside Atlanta Motorsports Park in Dawsonville, Georgia. We take pride in being a reseller of the best of the industry to Champ Car teams and drivers. We know racing, love racing, and look forward to tomorrow to even more racing. Visit us at discoveryparts.com.
You know somebody that gets hot?
Cool Shirt's personal cooling systems are designed to keep you cool and safe in hot environments. The football shirt is worn under the shoulder pads for total player comfort. For race car drivers, Cool Shirts offers a driving cooling system for virtually every racing application. The multi-person cooling system is designed to meet the demands of the firefighter in rehab. Cool Shirts offers a variety of designs for anyone who gets hot.
Cool Shirt, the worldwide leader in personal cooling systems. Race your phone and become a winner.
Champ Car Endurance Series is sponsored by RVA Graphics and Wraps, a custom graphics shop that specializes in the design and production of the best quality made-to-order vehicle graphics. And by Lifeline. Lifeline uses the latest technology in motorsport fire suppression and extinguishing and is the leader of in-car fire safety systems using Novec and Triple F foam. And Willwood Disc Brakes. Willwood Engineering is a global leader and manufacturer of high-performance, original equipment disc brake solutions. And Cool Shirt Systems. Cool Shirt's personal cooling systems, vests, and garments offer comfort, safety, mobility, and durability when performance matters. And Maxxis Tires. Maxxis Tires International is committed to delivering high-performance, affordable tires to the world. And Frozen Rotors. Premium cryogenically treated brake pads and brake rotors by Diversified Cryogenics. And OMP Sport, one of the world's leading manufacturers of safety equipment and tuning accessories. And by Racing Radios, the leader in racing communications worldwide, providing quality and affordable communication systems for racers and fans alike. And DiscoveryParts.com, offering the best in auto safety racing apparel. So coming up next for the Champ Car Endurance Series, we're off to Atlanta Motorsports Park next weekend for an 8 and a 7. And then it's off to Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the Wilwood Grand Prix, November 17th and 18th. That'll be on the Sports Car Roval. To find out more information and get signed up, go to www.ChampCar.org. And we still have spots available at those races if you'd like to get signed up. We'd love to see you out there. Heard from Uncommon Friends yesterday that they will be in Fontana for that race. So looking forward to calling the race for that weekend. That's the middle of November. And that's going to be a great race, so make sure you get signed up for that. Again, all the information, you can find out everything on the website. That's ChampCar.org. It is a .org. And about every other week, we get Mike's Red Flag videos where he brings us up to date. Typically after a race has been run, he'll do a video and bring us up to speed with everything that's going on currently in Champ Car. Of course, some of the biggest news that's as of late in 2019, the Champ Car Endurance Series will make history once again, as Champ Car will debut at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Champ Car will make history at the Speedway with the longest running race ever held at the Brickyard. And we're going to do it twice. Champ Car will have 2 10-hour races that weekend. No. Yeah. So if you join us, your team will have more track time in a single day's event than any event ever in the history of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Registration opens November 1st at midnight. That'll be a lot of fun. I'll be there for that race.
Now, one of the special rules, as it were, about the Indy races, is your car/team must have done at least one event in the prior year to enter that event. And that's to keep teams from that are outside our series from building a car just to race at Indy.
So Motorcrap has been meatballed to bring them in to check that car over after they had impact. It was confirmed they had impact with the wall in turn 12. So things kind of going from bad to worse for the Motorcrap team. And those guys have been racing with us for a while too.
Oh yeah. So
it's got
everybody's
the familiar
made their pit stops.
Motorcraft livery, but they call themselves Motorcrap. But I'm sorry, Doc. Go ahead.
I was just saying, everybody's pitted now for our first round of pit stops. One of the things I noticed that when Looney Tunes came in, they were running, of course, our first place car. They dropped down to P18, even with a flawless stop. So we're going to wait and see how things cycle through. Cone crushers and crank yankers are pitted right at what I would think would be the perfect time, right at 1:30 or 10:30, not 1:30. So we'll see how things shake out. I would suspect all of these top teams had the minimum pit stops.
If you're a Team Milan fan, they find themselves back in the paddock right now. They broke an axle. The car's not been touched since they brought the car back there, so I suspect they not only do not have an axle, but since it's not in the trailer, they're probably looking for one.
Yeah, I had a driveline problem. We can't really tell if the car's up on jack stand. I see some shadows, off there to the driver left.
Yeah, I've been watching them and off monitor, and it's they're just kind of walking around slowly. There's no urgency working on that car.
That sucks.
No, it's not fun at all. I'm sure it's they just don't have the part.
Right. There's only so many parts you can bring to a race.
Well, and you brought up a good point yesterday, Doc. You map out ahead of time where the E30s are parked at in the pits.
Oh, yeah.
So
absolutely.
that you know where to go for help. Of course,
Yeah,
we have a lot of Miata
if
teams.
you've ever been around a Champ Car garage, you know everybody will help everybody to get their car back out on track. If it's parts you need, even people. I mean, when we were a brand new team, people would come over and help us do work on the car because we didn't know anything. We still don't know very much. We got a little bit better, but guys will come and help you. They'll loan you tools, engine stands. You'll see people hop on Facebook. Hey, we need an engine stand or an engine puller, because not a whole lot of, it all depends on how big your trailer is as to what you can carry. Looney Tunes, obviously, they had a whole new motor in their trailer. And if you're going to tow a long distance or it's a long race, it makes sense to bring another engine. Oftentimes,
some teams bring a whole nother car.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't see that near as much as you used to.
Yeah.
But, oh, yeah, teams would haul up a spare parts car.
I was at a race one time, and the spare parts car became one of the team owner's wife's car. She had a similar car and had driven it to the track. That was her daily driver, and they were borrowing parts off of it.
Right.
I was like, oh, be careful. You're going to get in trouble.
So Paul Gash is reporting, wish we were out there. That's the Plum Crazy car. They hit the wall 30 minutes into the race yesterday and got mostly repaired, but the steering rack was broken. And that's one of the things I don't think I'd ever carry as a spare as a steering rack.
Yeah, you'd have to do some serious, pretty serious hit to bust that up. And we got a report now that car number 80 is apparently spilling some fluid from the left rear. I gotta get my lips checked.
That's the Cremaster.
We lose Doc?
I think we lost Doc there for a second. But he was just reminding us that's the Cremaster racing team. So, Doc, if you can hear us, we cannot.
They brought the Z. They also race a Miata, but they've got the Z out. I just got to notice my internet connection is not stable.
Like the rest of us.
Like me.
So
technology is awesome when it works.
Turn 5, yellow for car 187. And car number 112 stopped. We have an engine fire at turn 6.
If I got every one of my devices working all on the same day, I don't know what I'd do.
This is not good, guys. This engine fires on an MR2, blue shells, and that's pretty devastating on those cars because of the way everything's packed in there. It can be bad. We had a fire here the first year I started racing with Champ Car. It was Team Yoda Sport had a fire in their MR2 out there at turn 8, and it's pretty scary. Fortunately, he was able to get out of that car quickly, and he was okay. Looks like reports coming in, fire is under control, so that's good news.
Very good.
But that can be bad, very, very bad for the car.
Fire
bad.
And driver.
Thank you. It was almost in stereo.
God. I'm not doing bad for the FNG, huh?
You're not doing bad for the new guy at all. Oh, shoot.
Well, I remember when Troy's car caught fire at Barber.
Yeah. That was a engine ignition. That engine let go. Redneck VTech over on our YouTube channel saying, "Don't worry, Doc. I always bring a spare steering rack." So
really,
yeah, I guess he's bringing a spare rack to the track.
Who's that?
Redneck VNeck. I don't know. VTech. Redneck VTech. Excuse me.
Oh, that sounds like Pete.
But VTech, it doesn't. How that equates to E30? I'm not sure.
I don't know about that.
That might not interchange.
You don't have to bring the proper power steering rack or manual steering rack to the racetrack for your car.
But it helps.
But it helps. It does help. Yeah, so between 5 and 6 there, you saw the emergency vehicle off, driver's right. And just a welcome to everybody joining us for the broadcast on this beautiful Sunday at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, Road America on ChampCar.live. It is the Frozen Rotors Winter Classic for the Champ Car Endurance Series presented by RVA Graphics and Wraps. Paul Velton, Bill Strong, Doc Waldrop, and Tiffany Alexander with you, calling the race all weekend long. Day 2 here, another 8-hour race. Nearly 80 teams here showed up this weekend. About 64 started the race today after the, attrition, of course.
Yeah, we dropped about 10 entries for today from yesterday.
Up next, we're at Atlanta Motorsports Park for an 8 and a 7. That's this coming weekend.
Woo!
And then it's off to Auto Club Speedway for a double 7, Fontana, California, November 17th and 18th. We're at VIR December 1st for an 8 and a 7 on the North Course. So that's the 1st and the 2nd of December. Hope to see you folks there as well. That's always a great race. And the 414 spins in the kink area. There's an interesting spot to maybe it was going into the bus stop. Because that's actually, you're going pretty slow in the kink area, but if the talent's there, maybe you can make it work. 811, turn 10 smoking.
I have enough talent I can spin anywhere, Paulie.
Didn't you spin trying to get out of the pits at Daytona or something?
Thank you so very much. Yes, I did.
Called out.
Yes, I did. Well, it was a wet track. I was the first stint driver, and so Daytona's exit out of the pits is very tight, and there's a tight left-hander. I made that all fine. I get out on track, but it's like second gear. I shifted up into third, and it's like, nah, that was a mistake. And you could see me hovering over the gear shift leveler, and finally I shifted down, and that was it. It came around on me in a heartbeat. And as I like to tell the story, right behind me were the guys, our good buddies at E-Racing. And I can't remember who was in the car, but they told me they were cracking up laughing. And they said later on, they told me they should have been paying more attention because they spun 3 times. But yes, I managed to spin before I even got to International Horseshoe.
That takes talent.
Yeah, it is. I am talented like that.
And you're new, so.
Some people are just quick learners.
Well, somebody was telling me something about a pylon or something.
That's been
Charlotte
widely
Motor
debunked.
Speedway.
Widely debunked. That's fake news right there. I did not hit a pylon at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Really?
I hit 2 of them.
Well, thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the truth is now out.
I wiped those things out. Well, what had happened is we were under a full course caution. I came through there, and I didn't get word that they were going to reset the cones. I just thought they were towing a car off the tracker. But the next time I came around, I was missing about 7 feet of track that I needed. And so I started to turn in, and I could feel the rear end coming around. It's like, nope, these cones got to die.
That was my line. I don't know why they had cones there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Who the hell put these there?
Put cones in my line.
What the hell were they thinking?
So as we're on board with JSK, car number 80, Black Flag, not Black Flag, meatballed for dumping fuel. So they'll be brought in to get that rectified.
I mean, I don't have that much talent to start with. If I miss any, I'm in trouble. It doesn't take me long to run out of talent. I can go through that stuff like beer.
I just know some of you are following, especially on our Facebook feed, that for the Blue Shells Racing, that car is reported on a rollback now, and we've got 2 cars off in turn 6. They're parked there, so I'll get those cars picked up. And if you're just joining us, you can watch over on the our YouTube channel. It's ChampCar.live in 1080. So you can put it up on the big screen in the house there, or as many of our viewers do, turn it into a radio show and listen to it in their garage as they're working on their race cars. So for all you guys out there working on your projects,
God bless you.
God bless you, and we look forward to seeing you out there on that racetrack, man.
Yes.
I know Zachary's building up an E46. He's with Chattanooga Touring Meisterschaft. And great hosts, by the way. I partied with them for the Mid-stint Road Atlanta earlier this year, and we just had a blast. Those guys are not right in the head. They're not even close to right in the head.
Makes them interesting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Cars still coming in and out of the pits, of course, with this many cars on track. That's going to happen. But most of the scheduled pit stops have taken place, although this might throw a little bit of a wrench with the... I don't know, I guess it wouldn't throw too much of a wrench. It was only 15 minutes, so... Best case, you're going to have some teams that'll make that full 2-hour stint that otherwise might not have been able to do so otherwise, with the fuel usage.
Right.
So
10:45, everybody should be pitted and
by
now.
Yeah, unless they want to take a penalty for not coming into the pits when they should have.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and timing and scoring can't check every car, but they'll certainly check the top cars. And it's really easy for them to do. I watched them do it at, I think, the VIR 24.
A look at the flagger stand there. Great shot.
Oh, just beautiful.
You can see the trees are changing back there. Now, we typically race here twice a year, so be looking on the schedule. We usually have an April race and then a race here in October. Fantastic. I love this racetrack. It's so much fun. Nice facility. Great food. Probably the best food you'll find anywhere. It's just really nice.
That's probably not too bad of a drive for you, is it, Polly?
It really isn't too bad. It's a little over 5 hours.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, it's about the same to get to NCM. No problem.
Gotcha.
So now that we've had these pit stops, the field's kind of sorted itself back out, and several spots have changed hands. Rusty Nuts is shown as the leader of the race now. Ludicrous Speed, they're up to second place. Cone Crushers in third. And Looney Tunes is down in fourth with Crank Yankers in fifth. So we shuffled up the order a little bit.
Yeah, I've been watching off camera. The Team Milan, they've turned off their camera, so not sure what the status is. It does kind of look like it's pointing down at the ground, so they may have the tail of that car up in the air. They may have shut the camera off just to save some data, but not sure. They might be working on that car. Last camera shot, they're still in the paddock, not on a trailer or in a trailer. And I've been watching TRM Motorsports too. Those guys that we watched, we're on board with them. And these are the guys that work at Tire Rack. And they're still working on sorting that car out. They've been under the hood a bit and